in St. Anthony's favour that Leeds fans won't forgive us for talking about. The potential double movement. Now, to me, it was a double movement because he was tackled with his ball carrying arm, but
I thought it was a double movement, yeah.
But you take it back to playing to the whistle, I suppose, and he kept moving. He just didn't stop. He put the ball down because he didn't stop, and he ended up with no Leeds defender trying to hold the ball up, and he was over the line already. So he just put it down, and so to an extent, there Leeds were the architects of their own downfall. There were two players who could have wrap the ball up at that stage because he was still moving forward. It's an interesting one, but I'd have given it a double movement too. I thought he was tackled and then he lifted the ball up and then put it down, no matter where his body ended up, surely. But there you go.
I was of the opinion it was a double movement.
Yeah. So a few calls that went against Leeds in this game, but do you think that St Helens were the better side?
Yeah, I think overall they were. I think had Leeds scored anywhere near the number of points in that third quarter that they did in the first quarter.
The second quarter, wasn't it?
That's where
they didn't score any points in the second half.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the point, isn't it? They didn't score anything in the second half, so
exactly, yeah. But they had a similar dominance, I think, in the third quarter to what they'd had in the first quarter, but they didn't capitalise on it at all.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like they scored a bunch of tries, didn't they? After Callum Watkins went over, when it looked like it was going to be one-way traffic that first 10 minutes, but then after that, and it almost seemed like token try for Leeds, but Saints are going to get back on it, and they didn't get back on it because Leeds then went and scored a bunch of tries over the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes and had one ruled out as well, didn't they? So yeah, you're right. It was that start to that second half. Alex Walmsley's two tries that were pretty soft from Leeds' perspective, and Leeds, I don't think they can point the blame anywhere other themselves when they've not scored a point in the second half, and there you go. So I agree with what you're saying there. Okay, here's one for you to revel in. First of all, before you get to revel in another one, Saturday afternoon's fixture featuring your rivals, the Hull Kingston Rovers.
Yep. So it finished. Hull KR 22, Salford 24, despite Rovers having a 22-8 half-time lead. There were 7,565 people there watching it, and Liam Moore was the referee. So the stats might suggest that Salford deserved this by more than the narrow 2-point winning margin. Nearly 250 more metres at 0.8 metres per carry better average gain, 3 more breaks and 6.5% better team tackle success rate. A couple more errors made and a couple more missed kicks from the Red Devils helped keep the scoreline close. Individually, Ken Sear for Salford got 1 try, 6 tackle busts, 127 metres and 2 clean breaks. Josh Jones got 1 try, 9 tackle busts and 125 metres. Daryl Olfaz got 1 try, 1 try, 12 tackle busts and 124 metres. George Griffin made 50 tackles, 14 of which were marker tackles. For the losers, Rovers, Mitch Garbutt made 145 metres and 3 successful offloads. Robbie Mulhern, 1 try assist and 124 metres. Jimmy Kinehorse, 1 try, 113 metres. And George Lawler, 1 try and 44 tackles.
So Tom Andrews was the first of only 2 fan views we had in on this one, and I think the second one wasn't someone who went to the game, to be honest, but we'll get to that one. Tom Andrews said, fell apart like a 40-foot high Jenga tower. Why does it have to be Salford? I bloody hate Salford. Lawler, Garbutt and Dagger were bright sparks. Dumb kicks, Hastings being a cockwomble and a marshmallow soft defence led to that. Might be time to take a leaf out of our neighbour from Hell's book and sign Sheens up as a prop. P.S. I fucking hate Salford.
Don't hold back with what you think, will you, Tom?
You got to have some sympathy when they keep doing it to them on their own patch.
Yep. And Paige says, well, Tom HKR, 22-8 at half-time. Guess you guys just fucked it up again. At least they didn't relegate you this time. There's only one Gareth O'Brien, remember?
So, I guess you've had an opportunity to read a couple of match reports on this game, maybe, and possibly check out the highlights on the web there. From what you've seen of the game, who would you pick out as maybe the star men, the key men in this game?
From what I've heard and seen, Jackson Hastings controlled everything for Salford. Obviously, defensively, George Griffin's stats were very, very good for them.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And
it does look like, doesn't it, from everything I've heard, I listened to the last 10 minutes of the game on the radio as well, and it just feels like Salford were better, and it's weird that it took until the last 5 minutes for them the last 10 minutes for them to win it.
Yeah. I was taking the kids to the park actually, and I was watching the scores, and when it got to 22-8, I just thought, oh, this is one-way traffic, isn't it? And then suddenly the floodgates opened, and it all started to go the other way.
One of the key points of this game, before we talk about any of the sort of highlight reel moments that we picked out from the highlights, basically, because that's all we'll have seen, it was Joel Tompkins' no try, and it's also led to Joel Tompkins getting a grade D charge. So obviously, he's thrown a bit of foul mouth in his disagreement with the decision, and kind of it didn't help the slide, did it? If your captain's doing that, he managed to get away with it at the time, but he's not got away with it after the game. But he didn't get away with it in terms of the way the game went, because Hull KR went up the other end. Sorry, Salford went up the other end on Hull KR pretty much immediately after that 20-metre tap that they would have had, and scored a really nice try in the corner from Kensio. So, yeah, have you seen that footage, and what do you make of it? And what do you make of Joel Tompkins' reaction? Not appropriate.
No, and again, we were saying it seems to be something that the officials are clamping down on this year. And again, as long as it's consistent, then players have to accept it and learn that they can't come out with these things.
Yeah, I mean, from the match reviews I've read and from the little bit I've seen of it, which is hard to see because you're behind the angle and stuff, it does look a bit like Tompkins loses control and never really has it back himself. And it was Jackson Hastings, the man you picked out, actually, as the star man who made the tackle, wasn't it? So he didn't just do it with the ball, did he? He did it without the ball and made an influence on this game. But yeah, it seems to me that he lost it and was losing it and maybe never quite had it back. So fair shout.
Yeah, and then he lost it with the referee.
Yeah, indeed. So was there anything you saw on the highlights that particularly took your attention in this game?
No, I mean, Jimmy Kinehorse scoring again. I still don't entirely know why Leeds let him go. I don't know why more teams didn't come in for him.
Well, you could say the same for Mitch Garbutt and Rob Mulhern, can't you? The Hawkins.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would have taken Mitch Garbutt, the three of them up there in the stats.
I think there was a try by Hull KR where, and forgive me, I'm going to have to look back and see who scored it, but there was a try by Hull KR where Craig Hall's try with a really nice kick that was put over from Drinkwater, which looked nice, but obviously, it wasn't to be, was it? It wasn't to be. Whereas this Joey Lussick, did you see that? He's one for throwing a dummy and diving over from dummy half, isn't he, so far?
Yeah.
Teams are going to have to wise up to that.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll wise up before we play them.
When have you got Salford soon?
No, not particularly soon.
I think we've got him in a few weeks, so one to watch out for. He definitely tried it in our pre-season game too against him. So cards marked. Coaches should be spotting that if me and you are, Sarah.
Yeah, listen to us well.
Well, apparently Wreck-It Ralph himself listens in, so if the big wigs are listening, then surely the coaches are too. Okay. Anything else on that one, or do you just want to giggle away to yourself whilst I talk about London Cats?
No, I mean, you know what time it was when Salford started to play, don't you?
Go on.
20-8.
Is that one of Joshua's?
No, his aren't that good. Although he did have a question at the end of the Wigan match.
No.
He saw people lining up at the betting office and wanted to know if it was Wigan fans wanting their money back.
The betting office?
Is it not the betting office or the ticket office on the corner?
Oh, it's the ticket office outside, yeah.
Yeah, he was asking whether people were asking for the money back.
Hopefully it was people buying tickets to go to other games, but it doesn't feel that way at the moment unless we've got Aussies over. People don't want to turn up, apparently. Anyway, Game 5. London hosted Castleford Tigers. It finished 40 points to 6, pretty one-sided. It was 24-6 at half-time, so the writing was on the wall as far as that goes for Cass and London. 2,053 in this one, so I think, we expect London to have low crowds, and when they're at home, the average gate will fall in Super League. But the building, if they're going to consistently get in the 2,000s, that's at least promise. Scott Michalauskas was the referee down there, and actually, I thought in the first half he had a cracking first half, and then came out second half and started missing a few things, unfortunately. But let's give him credit for a really good first half performance. He made one of the best spots, didn't he? That I think a match official's made all season. Now we talk about these games where you've got the in-goal judges and that they're helping the referee, aren't they? Like the Joel Tompkins situation, for example. There would have been another match official in there to spot that. But in this game, Michalauskas and his two officials on the sides had to make this call themselves, and they went up no try on the one where Matty Fleming's elbow hit the floor in goal, but the ball never hit the floor in goal. And what a spot that was!
It was a good spot, yeah.
Anyway, the stats. In a game that had the most metres made so far in any game in 2019, Castleford made 426 more of them than London, at over 1 metre per carry better average gain too. Cass made 4 more breaks, 15 more tackle busts and 10 more offloads than their hosts. When the error count is even at 12 all and the penalty count is 2 at 3-3, another low penalty game, the stats support a wide winning margin for the team, making that much more ground, and that is what we saw. Individually, Junior Moores came off the bench to score a try and make 159 metres. Peter Matautia a try assist, 154 metres. Jesse Seni-Lafeo, one try assist, 116 metres that must be. I don't know, I've missed a number out there, Sarah. 3 successful offloads, and Nathan Massey 133 metres. So let's go 146 for Jesse Seni-Lafeo. For the losing London side, no disgrace across the board actually, even though that scoreline was heavy. Rhys Williams, 1 try, 6 tackle balls, 181 metres, 3 clean breaks. Elliot Keir, his centre, with 119 metres and 4 successful offloads. Luke Yates, the Aussie loose forward, the sort of big signing they brought in, 56 tackles, 10 of which were marker tackles. That's one to look out for your fantasy league teams, because he's putting big tackle numbers in every game. I think he's 3rd or 4th in the league for total tackles so far. And Will Lovell got his first start of the season, and he's a lot bigger than I remember him when London were last in Super League, and when I last saw him. It's
grown over the last few years.
Well, he was always tall, wasn't he? But he always looked like he was never going to be big enough to play forward in Super League, really. But he's properly padded out now, and is proper buffed up. 46 tackles and 13 marker tackles for Will Lovell. Do you want to give us the first of the fan reviews?
Yep, so Carson says the Tigers were better in all areas, but I think the score is too high. Jake Truman was outstanding, and thanks to Fatboy Rob for the pub scouting.
I think Carson's over in the country next weekend. He will be going to the London game. Hopefully I'll be there too. Car troubles dependent. Fatboy Rob said, a clinical display from top of the table Tigers. London look a tidy outfit and do the basics well, but Cass just had too much power and pace for them. Truman and McShane shone again. The trip to London is a good day out, and the fans in the pub before and at the ground know their RL. Apart from the floodlights, they have a great setup. I hope I get to visit again next year, and hopefully that new stand will be built by then as well, which is popping up at the Trailfinders.
Rajan Tande said the men with the moustaches were just better than London, both individually and as a team. The Broncos kept trying, and if they could tighten up and reduce the mistakes, they'll keep on making it tough for the opposition. I suspect Matthew Fleming will be fielding a lot of high balls as he spilled a few today.
I think London will be hoping Alex Walker's back sooner than later, actually. Dr. Hideous said, despite the scoreline, London performed well individually. Keir, Williams and Dixon especially stood out. What was missing was the communication that turns good individuals into a good team. Too often we'd not had anyone helping out in a tackle or when we got a break, and too often a last tackle kick went nowhere. Fixing that one deficiency will do us a world of good.
Adam F. Conley said, a clinical and comprehensive win for the Cass.